Welcome, I'll be reacting to the making of the Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance. This is not a market substitute. Support the original on Netflix, or help will come after you.
They want something to enrich the universe of the original film, and that's what this series does. You could put them side by side, and it is the same world, but there's just so much more.
Exactly. I mean, I watched them so close to each other, and it was seamless.
You have Frank Oz, who is one of the most brilliant puppeteers who's ever lived.
Yes, definitely.
Bad news is we're not going to make the Dark Crystal animated series. The good news is Cindy wants to know what it would cost to do it live action. And you could hear the phone hit the floor.
So glad they didn't go with that.
Disparate between a real tactile object that catches the light, that is layered and textured, versus something that is generated in a computer. And no matter how good it looks,
true.
no matter how good it looks, they looked like two different mediums.
That you immediately could see that it was CG talking to the puppet, and then you really just wanted to see the puppet.
Yeah. This is so much better.
Night and day. It's amazing
Yes.
how much more evocative the puppet is.
Yes.
And we all looked around at each other and said, we're doing it all with puppets, guys. And Double Negative, the studio that did the CG, said, well, hold on.
Yes.
We want to show you something.
Take just a shot from the movie and then just manipulate so you can add a little bit of blink or a little bit of smile and just...
And we all went, that's it.
So that's how they did it. Puppets with a tiny tweak to them. Look at that detail. Oh, wow.
Joe Lee is writing the YA books, and he's a big world creator.
I really need to read those.
And it's the story of Rianne and Deet. And I think that these two characters need to meet.
And he handed me a neat little vocabulary packet of all the Podling and English words, and so I learned it by studying Joe Lee's diligent work.
That's so neat.
He's done a huge amount to breathe life into it. He'll write me emails in Podling, and I'm like, I don't know what that says.
He writes emails in Podling. I love it. Oh, I loved the Podling washing scene. That was all painted. Wow.
In theory, so this is the core mold, and inside here is the detail.
The inside, so he grips it like this.
Oh, wow.
And is able to make her talk that way, but then there's radio control that gives a second puppeteer expression over her eyebrows and her eye.
We have this great young puppeteer called Barnaby Dixon, who does YouTube puppets with his fingers.
So a YouTuber did this whole scene. That's so cool. I'll put a link to his channel in the description for you. I definitely plan to watch some of his videos, although not his reactions.
Nice, colourful characters just against the right backdrop, and you...
Look at how many people are involved, plus probably the people radio controlling in the background.
How hard it is to hold your hand up like this, even for 5 minutes.
Yes.
And they're doing it with, you know,
so
20,
true.
30 pounds on top of it, and then acting.
Like, even when you're just sparring like this for a while, you start getting tired with the heavy gloves on. I can only imagine holding a heavy puppet up that long.
The performance really takes place within certain parameters that are shaped a lot by the puppeteer, which is why Louis been working with them as actors.
I have to
That makes complete sense.
Be a half-naked podling running through the forest. They're like, then I'm gonna go all the way with that.
Hi, I'm in the Skeksis. Isn't it fun? It's very dark and sweaty in here. Yay.
So this is the Chamberlain's body.
Yeah, I imagine they smell pretty rancid after a while.
We're seeing exactly what the camera sees. So we're in some way directing. We can see exactly what we're doing.
We have these shoulder straps, and then in the belly of the beast.
Because you can't see out, so you're like looking at the monitor.
Sure, that's fine.
No, one thing.
No, one more thing. What?
Open wide.
That's awesome.
There you go.
Tasty.
Watch his son follow in sort of the family business, but it's not even the family business, it's like the family world. That's
That's
where
so
I
neat
think
that this
sort
was
of thriving.
multi-generational.
Is the fact that we're in this world that's so natural to us as a family.
And people who were inspired by the Dark Crystal to go into their field became part of the new one. That's really special.
And I was like a fanboy meeting him because he's the baby from Labyrinth. So, and then the duality of not only seeing someone from a film that I loved as a child, but then also seeing his creative prowess and this.
He was the baby in Labyrinth. And now he's an amazing artist. Spectacular. This is so fantastic.
We have about 70, 80 sets, and we had about 6
80
months prep.
sets?
So
with
your
6
first-
months prep?
There's an original Skeksis sword, when this is actually copied from the original one. I mean, they're beautiful.
Oh.
It's obviously Brian Froud designed those.
The floor to drop the puppeteers in to have the creatures at the right height.
I was wondering how that happened.
That doesn't happen on a normal show.
So they just build the set high.
You've got the creature's complexity, you've got the complexity of the set. So you have to map out in great detail which creature's going to move where to provide the right type of flooring or open up the flooring.
So beautiful.
I sat down for quite a few days and just painted and painted.
Amazing.
So just putting key things in, like
I'd love to
Mother
just look
Aura.
at every page.
And also
The size of the spoon, and at one point he was going to have a whisk and did that sort of drift
No.
away from the spirit of
No,
Huck.
not a
like
whisk.
He's really all about spoons, it shouldn't be a whisk.
He's about spoons.
Everything that we did and all the shots could be covered practically.
We've been talking for a long time about
So like
using more
very
puppeteer removal
specific
so
use
that of you can do a
CGI,
large
not just
character by controlling from the outside.
The tangible, handcrafted quality of it all that
the practical and the CGI truly working together.
You watch the show and you forget you're watching puppets. And if we do this, if we achieve that, it might be onto something.
And he did achieve that.
If he doesn't like something, he'll tell you what he thinks it should be, and he can describe what it should be rather than, no, show me something else. It's like, no, but how about this? And his ideas are brilliant, and he has given us loads of ideas of how things could look or how they could be.
That's always helpful because when someone just says, no, I'm not loving it, give me something different, it's like, that's completely useless information. You need to say, I don't like the color, I don't like the shape, I don't like the format of it. Can we try 2 columns? Can we try a darker orange? That's actionable critique. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't understand, that when you're critiquing something, say why you don't like it. And even better, have a plan to change it, not just, I don't love it. Like, that doesn't do anything. I honestly think this is a subject that we should teach in school, along with math and English. How do you give a helpful critique to someone in a kind way that's actionable? Great life skill that none of us are taught.
I like the darkness that's embraced with the Dark Crystal. I really do. I think sometimes we can sanitize and spoon feed children and young adults a bit too much.
Mm-hmm. You tell it, Natalie.
Sometimes very dark and very disturbing and very edgy. And if it was live human beings, you might shy away from some of the things that they're doing. But then I remind myself how dark Grimm's fairy tales are. And
One of the great things about fairy tales and stories like this, the world is not pretty. It is dark. It is a struggle. And what these stories tell you is that despite that, you have heroes, you have hope. Things can get better and they will get better. So even though they're scary, ultimately it's saying, yeah, the world out there is frightening, but you can handle it. And that's why I think it is important for kids to see films like this and TV series like this.
It's exciting to have brought puppetry to this point.
What a team. Although the Thursday Dark Crystal release is now over, there will be an occasional Dark Crystal video coming out. For example, there's a new ballet that's in the works. If I hear some cool news about that, I'll put a video together. If I end up reading the books, I'll definitely post my thoughts on that. So either subscribe or bookmark the Dark Crystal playlist on my channel. Thanks again for watching. Hop will protect Deet.